Hello, everybody. How you doing? I hope we are live. We have some breaking news to give you, some social work breaking news to give you that has just come across the email. I had to break out of my social work supervisor training that's going on now. For those of you all who need it, a couple months sign up. But I had to break out of my social work supervisor training to deliver this information because already on Social Workers of Alabama, if you're not a part of that, you need to join. It has been circulating the news about some new breakthroughs, official breakthroughs that we already kind of knew about, but we're officially hearing it from the board at this time. So this is the thing: if you are not registered with the social work board, if you don't have an email registered with the social work board, then you want to go on and get situated with that, so that when the news comes out, you can have it delivered to you right away. But if you're not wanting to do that, then you can always just find out this information from Social Workers of Alabama. And the information is already streaming on Social Workers of Alabama about this news. And so what it is, and I'm going to just show you right quick. This is for those of y'all who are not a part, you need to join. This is what came across. Is it true? Is it true? Effective today, Thursday, September 14th, 2023, all licensed independent clinical social workers are able to diagnose. Please update. So that's what's been streaming through. I'm gonna get into it a little bit more. So is this true? Yes, it is true. We got the official word. A lot of people were asking the questions even in the training today. Is this an effect already? Can we diagnose? And everything that I've read said that we could, but I didn't want to be the one to really drop that word. I wanted to hear it official from the board, from an email. I've seen it in some of their other correspondence, but we're getting it official today by email. And so let's talk about a little bit about these changes, because already some people are asking the question, what does this mean? What does this mean? What are the requirements now? What's the change? Because there's some things with CEUs that's been changing. So let me try to share my screen, and we're going to get to this real quick. All right. And I'm going to my Evernote to try to bring the share. And so I copied this, but this is what I just received as an email from the board. And basically it's telling us that there has been a change, and this change is already in effect. It happened on 2000 and on the 14th, and we kind of talked about that in the group. But here we have it, official, effective today, Thursday, September 14th, 2023. All licensed independent clinical social workers are able to diagnose. So if you're a LICSW in the state of Alabama, we can diagnose. It's a wrap. It's been signed. It's in legislation. It's moved. It's in action. We can do it. So let's get used to this new life, right? All right. And so it says, please see the updated rules below. Again, this is for LICSWs only. LICSWs only. And then it states the new continuing education requirements will begin renewing January 1, 2024. That was something else that was being asked as well. So there's some changes that I'm going to talk about in just a second, and some of that involves changes with CEUs, the CEU requirements for all, and this is particularly just for clinical social workers, and we'll read over it to make sure I'm not getting that wrong. But for clinical social workers, there has been a change. But let's just look at the guidance really quickly. If you go, and I've been going through this in my supervision too. I'm gonna show you something real quick, so that you all can kind of know where to access this information. I think it's super important. Let's just you want to go to social work board. Let's see. All right. And when you go to the social work board, I want everybody to just know about this, right? So you can be on top, because you don't want to get things last, especially if you're in administration. But this is where you go to find a lot of this information concerning the rules. We talked about this. If you were to go to laws and rules, this shows you what the laws that have changed, and it tells you a little bit about the rules. So this is what we're talking about, is some social work law. This is coming from 850X2-2, whatever. And so this is where you would find it right here, I believe, under definitions. And you should be able to find these changes somewhere under here, if I'm not mistaken. But you just follow the number. You just follow the number. I may not be giving you the direct guidance, but this is where you follow. This is where you find the information, right? And so if you see this is what the definitions, this is the number for the definitions, then you're going to look in the definitions and find that under here, and you should see it if it has been updated. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into that. You come to the training for that, but let's talk about these changes. So clinical social work is a specialized area of social work practice that includes assessment, diagnosis, and treatment. That didn't used to be in there. We did not used to have, in the prior times, we did not have the ability to assess what to diagnose. We couldn't diagnose. So this is officially in our social work policy and law. And when you read down here, this tells you some of the things that is not included in the change. That's some of the things that we still are unable to do. And so you can read that for yourself. I don't want to be too long-winded. Now, here is a change too that we need to talk about. All right, so there's a continuing education change for those who are licensed independent clinical social workers. And here it says it, for licensed independent clinical social workers, this is the change. You must submit 30 contact hours. Okay, so that's a total of 30 CEUs, continuing education units. 10 of these must be live classroom. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more on another video, but 10 of these must be live. And then 3 hours should be ethics, and then 6 hours should be clinical. Okay, so 6 hours needs to be clinical. Okay, 3 of those hours must be comprehensive. Must be a comprehensive review of the current version of the Diagnostic Statistical Manual. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, if you are a clinical social worker, actually, this doesn't go into effect, and that's important too. This does not go into effect, I mentioned earlier, until January 2024, January 1, 2024. So you don't have to have this until then. Okay, you don't have to have these additional CEUs until then. But at that time, if you are renewing around January 1st or later, and you are a clinical social worker, it will be required that you have the diagnostic, this comprehensive review of the current version of diagnostic and statistical manuals. Now, the thing is, a lot of people are asking the question, where do I get this training? What has the board approved certain trainings? Do I have to have this or that? I don't have all the answers to everything, that the specifics about what the board is going to approve or not approve. But my general understanding has been pretty accurate. Any program that, and when in doubt, check with the board, but any program that is covering this subject matter mentioned here, there's no quote unquote board approved, then you can take that training. You can take that training as long as it's covering this information here. The board may later come out with further information and guidance based on what you need to have. But the idea of this was that, look, we have had this big change with being able to treat, diagnose, and treat. Okay, so that's new. We weren't able to diagnose, probably the only state in the union that could not diagnose, clinical social workers that could not diagnose. But now that we're able to do that, what the board is wanting to do is make sure that we are educated enough to make those diagnoses, because it's new to us. Okay, and so they put these different rules out to make sure we're covering the base. And a lot of this stuff kind of influences changes in the legislation when legislation is being brought up. So it may seem like it's a lot, but a lot of times there's something behind it, since we're new to this. And a lot of times it's hard to get stuff through to the legislature, but we're here now. And so we have to take these trainings. Now, Aspire, we will have a training on November 3rd. Well, we may end up changing that. We may end up changing it. We had a tentative on November 3rd. We just got the official of when this actually goes into place, but we do want to get that first test run on it, and so we still may have it at that time, but we may change it as well for some reasons. But you see it first here. You see it first here. If you need to find out about any trainings for the DSM, check out Social Workers of Alabama. Whether you get it from us or you get it from somebody else, it's much love. You can come and get it. Come and get it, right? And so we just want to make sure ultimately that you have the information that you need to be able to do what you need to do as a social worker. And so check us out if you're not already a part of Social Workers Alabama. For those of you all that are already a part of Social Workers of Alabama, just be on the lookout for these changes. We're going to try to bring them to you as they come. Y'all take care now. All right. Bye-bye.